Congratulations! Your Thermomix TM7 is here. And now what? If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, don't worry. In this video, I'll show you everything you need to get started. How to set up Cookidoo, unbox and start your Thermomix, what every accessory does, and even how to cook your very first recipe step by step. By the end of this video, you'll feel completely at home with your TM7 and ready to enjoy every restaurant quality meal. I am so excited for you. This is going to change the way you cook forever. Before your Thermomix even arrives, or even before we open the box, we need to set up Cookidoo, the recipe platform that powers everything. Go to cookidoo.thermomix.com, create an account, which is free for a month, then download the app, yes, in that order, trust me. And then you can start browsing and choosing which recipes you're going to cook first. Later, once you get your Thermomix, you'll be able to activate 3 more months for free. And then it will be $65 per year. I mean, at least that's the current price as I'm making this video. 5 very important tips on Cookidoo. 1. If you already had an account because you had a TM6, for example, you can have up to 5 devices logged to one account. So no, you don't need a new one. 2. No, the password you create for Cookidoo doesn't need to be the same you used to buy the Thermomix. Your Thermomix customer account is not related to your Cookidoo account. 3. If you don't like subscriptions, Thermomix was used only manually during more than 40 years before all this guided cooking came up. I absolutely love it. I think it's worth it. They are constantly adding more recipes and features, and it's a yearly plan, not monthly. But if you don't like that, like I said, you can use your unit manually. You also have 200 basic recipes that come already loaded in your unit. And if you use Cookidoo for those 1+3 months, your last 100 cooked recipes will be saved in your unit, at least for a while, unless a software update removes them. 4th tip, as soon as you open your account, please go to your profile, default settings, and here choose the language or languages that you speak. And then here, in country of origin, the default will be US if you're in the US. And my very strong advice is that you remove it. By removing it, you're unlocking every other country in the world. You're already constraining the search to your language only. So you'll be able to see English recipes from US, Australia, the UK, but also from any other country that chose to create a recipe in English, which are a lot. You're welcome. And number 5, I'm not going to give you a tour of Cookidoo in this video because we need to move on and start opening the Thermomix box, but remember that you can search, bookmark, keep recipes in folders, plan your week in advance, auto-create the grocery shopping list, and even send it to certain supermarkets in your area automatically. So please explore the app or watch one of my other videos. I'll post the link in the description. And now we're ready, unboxing and setup. When your Thermomix arrives, you'll find 3 smaller boxes inside the big one. The first has the mixing bowl with its insulated cover, the lid cap, butterfly whisk, and simmering basket. The second has the aroma dish, tray, and lid. And the third has your Thermomix base and the spatula. My advice? Keep the shipping box if you can. It's perfect for packing your Thermomix for a trip or to visit a friend, unless you own the carry bag or the trolley. Choose a good spot for your Thermomix, not too close to the edge of a countertop. When it's kneading, it moves a little. It actually dances. Away from a heat source, not under the cabinets, at least for steaming, and always on a flat, stable surface. Plug it in and press the power button. Peel the screen and wait for the updates. Choose your language. For the unit itself, this is separate than Cookidoo. Your region, which is US in my case, read the safety instructions. And connect to your Wi-Fi, wash all the accessories like you would with any new appliance. And now let's meet your Thermomix. This is the bowl where you will be cooking. The insulated cover keeps the bowl comfortable to touch even with hot recipes, and it will make sure that you can barely hear a thing when you're cooking. Crushing ice is a different story. Above the screen, the light bar shows you the temperature. Green when cold or warm, yellow while getting hot, and red when very hot. It blinks during cooking and it turns off when the bowl is removed, so you always know what's happening. The base has a built-in slider, so when you want to move it around, just lift the front and slide away. Never drag it when it's flat. The touchscreen is large and bright and works just like a tablet. You can swipe, tap, and even personalize your home screen with your favorite modes and shortcuts. You can choose a homepage with recipe ideas, a homepage with your recipes for the day and your most used shortcuts, or a page with all shortcuts. Just browse here, click here, and choose what you like. The bowl locking system is simple. Set the bowl on a flat surface, always. You see the lever here? If I push it here, I just unlocked the bowl and I can get the blades out. Be careful with the blade, it's very sharp here and obviously on the tips, and then it has a side that is dull. When you're doing guided recipes, Thermomix is going to know when it needs to chop or when it's stirring and it's using the dull side, or whatever it is that you're doing. Now let's look at the composition of the bowl. Here you have this stainless steel part that is going to be the one in contact with the food, and then we have this cover. Thanks to the cover, the cooking will be silent and you'll be able to touch it with both hands even when the food is very hot. You're always going to handle everything together. The only time you're going to separate it is when you want to wash it, and we'll talk about that later. So let's put it again together. We have the bowl here. You see where the handle will have gone here? We're going to match it to the handle and we're going to let it fall right here. If it falls a little bit to the side, it won't fit all the way. So you have to make sure that it fits all the way, and as soon as you do it a couple times, it will be logical, right? And then we're going to add the blade. Have the bowl always on the surface, don't lift it, and put it in like a kid's puzzle. You're just gonna fit it in there, okay? So, and as soon as it's completely in, all you have to do is pull the lever towards you. Ta-da! And if you want, you can double check. It's completely locked. All right? These prongs are going to go in the base. You're always going to set the bowl like this with the handle forward. There's no other way for this to be fit. So you're going to put it here, and when it's cooking and it's more than a speed 2, it's going to lock automatically. If you're cooking and let's say that you need to empty the bowl and put something aside and then keep cooking and maybe you need to rinse it, that's okay. You can just rinse it, you put it under the sink and you rinse it a little and you wash it a little, and as long as you're holding it up, you will not be getting this wet. If you did, that's okay. Just grab a paper towel and dry it before you put it back. Once you're done cooking, this can get wet. That's perfectly fine, just not while you're cooking. All right, so now we're ready to cook. We're going to put it here, and always make sure that you did lock it completely, okay? You don't want to put your water here or the soup and get it dripping. You'll get used to it very fast. Just always make sure that the lever is all the way locked. Super easy, right? Here we have the lid, and the lid has this handle. When you have the bowl closed, all you have to do is grab your hand here and lift it up. This is easier than doing this because it can get stuck. So just lift it up and then you can look and work with it. The bowl has a few marks inside, 1/2 liter, 1 liter, 1.5, and 2. That's gonna come in handy sometimes when you're doing some modes, okay? Accessories. When using guided recipes, you'll see a picture of each accessory you need. So don't worry, you'll know when to use each one. The butterfly whisk is for whipping, whisking, and gentle stirring. Look for the highest blade and the lowest blade and put it in between. See, right there. Twist it a little bit to the right, and if you did that correctly, then you can hold the bowl just from the butterfly because it's locked. If you want to get it back, all you have to do is twist it left again and then it comes out. If you ever use it manually, I mean not following a guided recipe, right? Never go over speed 4. A little tip to remember this: butterflies have 4 wings, never go above speed 4. The simmering basket sits inside the bowl. It's great to steam rice, vegetables, potatoes, or for straining. When it's hot, you can remove it safely with the hook of the spatula. There's a hole right here, and here you can grab it and put it on your plate. You can also lift the lid with the spatula. The Varoma is your big steamer. It has a dish, a tray, and a lid, and it goes on top of the bowl. Take this off, just like this. Sometimes you will use the tray, and sometimes you won't. But you will always need, obviously, the dish and the lid. You might have soup here, rice here, veggies here, and salmon here, and that is called vertical cooking. You can also steam with just water in the bowl and anything on top, from veggies, potatoes, fish, chicken, meats, or even flan or a cake. Yes, there's a steamed carrot cake that is to die for, and the decadent Valentine's cake is unbelievable. Once you get used to cooking with Thermomix, you'll be making a soup, and when you see the steam, you'll realize, I could be using that steam. So you'll come with the Varoma, put it on top, put some veggies or whatever it is that you want, and you'll double your production, even if the recipe is not calling for it. 3 tips for the Varoma. 1, always lift the lid away from your face so the steam escapes safely, and then flip it to use it as a drip tray, like this. Number 2, Always remember to leave some holes open so the steam can flow. If you have broccoli, set it in a way that leaves space. If you add, let's say, parchment paper and you cover the whole circle, then you're not really steaming and you'll think that the Thermomix is not working. So just put the parcel with the chicken or whatever it is to the side so there are some open vents. Or you can do the Thermomix trick, which is to put the butterfly in the base to raise whatever it is that you have here and get the steam flowing. And number 3, this is an important one. If you're making protein and you see that the time for the recipe didn't cook it completely, just move the contents and add some more time. With guided recipes made inside the bowl, I always trust the recipe completely. But when using the Varoma, you're adding the human factor. How thick was that salmon that you're trying to cook? This will be made in 20 minutes. This will not. Or how did you set it up around the vent holes, right? So just have a thermometer handy and check it out. It needs more time? Then go for it. No biggie. It will be delicious at the end. And last one, number 4, it can be used as a big strainer. See? Small strainer, big strainer. The spatula has a flexible tip that scrapes the bowl clearly. It stands so it never touches your counter, and a dough releaser at the base to free sticky dough from the blades after kneading. The best way to get food out of the bowl is to push everything to one side and then go like this, rotating clockwise, because that way you're pushing the blade on the dough side, not hurting your spatula. And then get your food out. All right, so let's get cooking. For my day, I chose a tomato soup and I have it right here in my homepage because I have my day here and I'm just going to click tomato soup. Let's go for it. And when I'm here in the recipe, I could actually look more things. I could look at the ingredients, which the same thing that I can do in the phone. I could look at the preparation steps if I wanted to see what's coming, something that I can also do on my phone or in my computer. And I can look at tips or I can look at more to nutritional information, etc. But let's go back to the overview. And let's click start. Okay, so it's asking us to take the lid off. You can see that there, so thank you, Thermomix, for letting me know. And it wants 4 cloves of garlic. And when it's units, you just put them in there and you just say check. Now, in this case, it wants 2.5 ounces of shallots. I have them here as well. And I'm just going to throw them. As we can see, we get to 2.5 in the scale, and I'm going to mark it. And then we want olive oil. I have it right here. 1/2 ounce, and I'm very much over. It's going to be oily. I could remove it, but I'm not going to. All right, I'm going to say, I've done that. Now I'm going to click next. Let's go to the next step. And it wants to chop. So you see the picture there is asking us to close the lid. All right, let's do that. We're going to follow what we see in the picture all the time. And you see how it's asking us to put the lid with this lid cover right there in the picture. So I'll do what it says. And it's going to chop for 2 seconds at speed 5, but that is just a preset. I don't have to choose anything. I could change it if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Close it because it's a preset. I don't have to think. Pretty much all I have to do every time I'm ready for the next step is just click play. All right, and now I say next. It wants me to scrape the sides with a spatula, and I also see a picture of what it wants me to do. Thank you so much. I know how to read, but thank you for the picture. Alrighty, so we have here onions chopped. I'm not crying, you are. Okay, so I'm going to scrape down with the spatula to make sure that all the goodies are in the bottom because it's going to start cooking. Next, and now it wants to saute. So again, it's asking me to close it. I'm going to do that. And it's going to do 5 minutes, 250 Fahrenheit at a speed 1. Speed 1 is like a spoon moving so it doesn't burn. Okay, so I'm gonna hit play. And I have to find something to do for 5 minutes. Oh, the problems we have, Thermomix owners. We only have 5 seconds left and look what's going to happen right now. Do you hear my phone as well? Look. It rang once, but I'm close enough that it stopped. Alrighty, so my phone was the one telling me as well because it's a step over than 3 minutes. So any step that is going to be more than 3 minutes, I can go away and I know how far I am and I can go from here and say, all right, enough. And it doesn't sound anymore. So that way if I'm away, but someone is close to the Thermomix, you know, maybe a baby that is sleeping in the crib, I don't know, someone that, you know, my kids that are studying, doing homework, I can turn it off because I am far away and I will be back in 2 minutes. Give me a second, right? That is a nice feature right there. Okay, so now we're going to continue and we're going to say next. And we have all these ingredients here. So again, we're going to take the lid off, but let's say that you're like, no, I wanted to saute more for whatever reason, right? You can always go back back to the previous step, click on the buttons here and say set as current step. And then you can hit play again and it will saute more. Maybe you want to chop more, maybe you want to cook more, whatever it is, you can go back. So now I'm going to stop it and I'm just going to say I want to go to the next step. We're back to the ingredients, which is where we want it to be. We're going to take the lid off and the light is red. You can see that there's a whole light bar here and you can see that it's red. It's because it's hot inside. Okay, so we're going to start adding things, and right now it wants 18 ounces of tomatoes. You see that the scale is at 0. Let's add the tomatoes right here. And I know that I'm a little over because I weighed them before. So here you are, and I just have to check and say I did it. Now there's a setting where you can put that automatically. If you put that setting, that means that every time that you're close to the number, let's say 18.1 or 18, then this will go like a bar, it will grow and it will check itself automatically. For that, you need to be in a very stable table because the scale cannot be moving. It needs to know that you added what you needed and then it will check it off for you, okay? I'm not gonna use it, so I'm just gonna go checking one by one myself. I'm a control freak, like my husband says, but yeah, you can do that if you want. Okay, so tomato paste, half an ounce. And whenever you use that feature, whenever you do, let's say 4 garlic cloves, that you have to check yourself because it's not going to know that you put 4, okay? It's only for weighted items. Anyway, if you're using that feature. Okay, so tomato paste and 5 right there. Alrighty, that one's done. And now we're going to do vegetable stock. My vegetable stock is always homemade. I make it with a Thermomix and I put it in the freezer. I have a video about it right here. So I'm going to put one of my cubes and I'm gonna put a little bit more. That cube was a little small. I'm just gonna put this too. So I'm gonna put a cube there and then 8 to 12 ounces of the vegetable stock. Then I'm just gonna add water to my cube. All right, so let's add the rest. I'm gonna stop like at 10 more or less. Okay, 10.2, why not? Let's stop there. And look, right now I turned that for you. So you could see it, you see how it grew? And then it says, you're done, Diana, you don't have to touch it. It's pretty nice as well, sure. Okay, so now we need a smoked paprika, half to 1 TSP. So here we go, that I'm gonna check myself. And sugar, 1 to 2 TSP. So I'll just do 1.5, 1.5. Okay, and then we have the salt, 1 TSP. And I think it's gonna be pepper as well, right? There we go, all right, pepper, half. We're almost done, we're gonna start cooking. I'll clean this up while it's cooking. That's the big advantage, right? Since I don't have to do the cooking, I can get everything ready. Alrighty, so next. And now we're going to cook for 15 minutes. Guess what? I'm going to clean up this and I'm going to do a lot more things actually. All right, so I'm going to hit play and then I'm going to tell you something else. Right now I can hear the liquid because it's starting to move, but I cannot hear the motor. It is a silent motor. I'll come back in a little bit and we'll try to hear if we can hear the cooking and probably we will not. Okay? Okay, so here we are. We only have 2 minutes, 22 seconds left. This is red, it's hot. I can touch it. I don't get burned because it has a cover, so I don't get burned. And it is silent. You hear a little bit. But if it wasn't because of the light and it was around the room, I could not tell that there's cooking. Only the little bit of the boiling is what I hear, okay? Now, another thing is, if I swipe here, I can see this is the cooking center. This is the same thing. It's telling me how much longer, 1 minute, 45 seconds. And the same information I have here in the cooking center is what I have on my phone. It's hard for you to see, right? I have 46 seconds here, 46 seconds here. So again, this is what I will be seeing from somewhere else. Now, if I wanted to stop the cooking, I can just lift it and I can say, that looks great. Let me put a little bit more of salt or pepper or whatever, right? I could move it or I can just close it again. And look, when I close it, it goes back to cooking. That is the new open cooking that we have with the TM7. Anytime that you're in speeds 2 and under, and when you are at a boiling point or under, you can open the lid. If not, if you're over, then the lid will be locked because there's a very strong magnetic locking mechanism right here. By the way, we're done. Let's keep going. Alrighty, and now we're going to the last step. And in the last step, we only need basil. All right, so let's open it. And here we have our basil leaves. It says that it wants 6, so let's throw them in there. I had a little less. And I'm going to close it again. Let's see next. And now it wants to blend. And here we are again, the picture shows the lid with the lid cap. Because the lid is kind of covered, you see that it has only like little holes on the sides, but it's kind of covered. If I had not had the lid while I was cooking or even when I was chopping, it wouldn't have been a disaster. But do not forget to put this when you're going to do blend or turbo or the pre-wash, because anytime that you're using this as a blender, then you don't want to redecorate the ceiling, right? So let's make sure that we put this, we just put it in and then we twist it and now it's very, yeah, and now it's very strong. There you go. And now we're going to blend for 1 minute. Play. 1 minute. And you see right now it's at a speed 10. It locked here and here really strong. All right, there we go, next. And now it just wants me to put it in the bowl. You see, I just heard the locks go again. You see here and here, it unlocked. But because it was a speed 10, both of them were really locked really fast. All right, so now we're going to transfer to the bowl. Take the lid again. Always make sure that you drip, 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 and then get it out of the way. And now here we have our soup. We can grab it with both hands, so it's very easy to pour. And I'm just going to put the soup here, and it smells amazing. I wish you were here. Good. Now I can always scrape the sides and say, okay, so let's go everything down first. Cannot see because I'm showing you. And then you go like this, right? You want to go around, and then you can bring down a little bit more of the soup that was left over there. I could work better if I was not in front of a camera. Here we can put this, you see, it doesn't make any mess in my table. And I just put it back in. And we're going to do a pre-wash in a second. Okay, so this is the soup. I'm going to let it rest, and it's asking me to put chili flakes if I want to, so I'll put it in a little bit, yes. Alrighty, we're going to say finish. Yes, I am done. So here I have an amazing soup. The consistency is amazing and it smells awesome. And I did not work. Now, if you love the kitchen and you love working, that's great. Did you make your favorite chicken recipe in the meantime? I'm glad you did. Honey, dinner's ready. Okay, so now that we're done with our recipe, we can wash our bowl. 90% of the times, what I do is go to the pre-clean mode, and here I make a choice. If I just did a shake or a soup, then I might choose quick. If it was a chicken pasta, I'll probably do all-purpose. If I had dough, I'll choose dough. Or we have brown button or caramel. You get the gist. I'm going to tell you how to use it, but if you have any questions, you can always click here to the show tips, and then you're going to see how it's done. In this case, they're asking you to put water up to the 1 liter mark, and then put a drip of dishwasher, and then select whichever option you want. So that's great. We're going to hide the instructions. So if you wanted to choose all-purpose, you click right here, and then you click play. And you see, it's going to do 7 minutes. It's going to heat up the water, and it's going to start throwing it really, really strong towards the blade to do a pre-wash. Let me stop it. When you're done, you're going to need to rinse it. So obviously this is a pre-wash. You're going to need to rinse the bowl, and sometimes you'll need to finish it a little, but it will be a great head start. I absolutely love it. 90% of the times that I cook, I put it on and I start taking the ingredients back or the dishes or setting up the table. And by the time I'm done, the pre-wash is over. If you are cooking chicken and you want to clean the blades, then we can do that. You can open here, take the blades out. I suggest that you buy a straw cleaner so you can reach the difficult parts on the blade and always keep it super, super clean. Sometimes in the Thermomix website, we have this one. I love it as well. So you can just clean it with this. But again, a straw cleaner will do the job as well. And if you want to put this in the dishwasher, you can always choose. You can wash this more times than you need to wash this one, because this one is not touching the food. So unless you had a big spill, you might need to wash it every 5 times that you need to wash this one. I don't usually use the dishwasher because between the pre-wash and me finishing a little, it's usually perfect. But up to you. Every single accessory and the bowl is dishwasher safe. The only part that is not, obviously, is the base. I have to say it. Modes. When you're ready to explore beyond guided cooking, there are powerful modes waiting for you. Open cooking mode lets you cook with the lid off, like a saucepan, perfect for pasta, dumplings, or reductions. Steaming mode sets the perfect steam temperature automatically, whether you're using the Varoma or the simmering basket. Ingredient presets show you exactly how to chop or steam different foods, like broccoli, carrots, or fish. So you don't have to guess how much water, how much time you need in order to steam that. Browning mode lets you saute manually, gently for onions or intensely for meat. And then we have other modes that you probably want to explore. I personally love the egg boiler. I click here, put water up to the 1 liter mark, put up to 6 eggs. On the bottom, look, here are the instructions, and they're going to show you a picture right there. You just have to put water and then choose how you want them done. So I click here and I say, oh, I want them medium, and press play. It's going to lock, and it's going to call me when they're ready. In 13 minutes, I can go away and I don't have to be thinking about if the water is boiling yet, if I'm putting the eggs yet, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I have to put them in cold water right after, or else they will continue cooking and I won't get the result I wanted, right? I'm going to stop it. What other modes we can do? I like the kettle mode, where I can have my water boiling, ready for a tea. And then under all these modes, this is where you have all those cheat sheets that I was talking about. So you can click on carrots and you can see, hey, do you want to chop them or you want to steam them? And depending on which one you choose, you'll be able to have the presets there. Do you have this many, or that many? You click here and you just get that preset here. Seems like for that, we need 5 seconds at speed 5. Well, I didn't know that. Thank you so much. For the pros, we always have manual mode. Here you can choose the time. You have here presets, so you can add 10 more minutes. So here we can choose the time. Here we can choose the temperature, and you have presets as well, so you can go faster. And here you can choose the speed. Obviously, in order to use it manually, you will need to know what the speeds mean. Like 1 is kind of like a spoon stirring, 3 and 4 you're chopping, 6, 7, 8 you're blending, and when you're getting to 10, you're milling. So my advice always is use Cookidoo first, use guided recipes, and when you see the pattern, then that's when you can go into manual mode and create your own recipes. Before we're done, let me give you a mini tour of the menu. Here, obviously you had the homepage as we explained. Here you can search recipes. I usually do that on my phone or in the computer, but now that the TM7 has this huge display, I'm going to also make a lot of searches here, so I advise you to do that. You can search by collections, you can search by ingredients, categories, times, portions, you can sort, just play with it, it's a lot of fun. Here you have your folders. So recently cooked, bookmarks, the folders that you're saving, the collections that you're saving or ideas, and created recipes. When you create your own recipe, you can save it here, but let's leave that for the advanced class, okay? Then here we have the modes that we were talking about, and here we have settings. In the settings is where you can go back again and choose your language, update the Wi-Fi password, connect the Bluetooth if you have the sensor. You can change how long the duration of the sounds, the display, the font, and then here you can choose if you want imperial or metric. Now, when you do that, you're choosing that for your unit, not for the recipe. Let's say that I'm using metric here and my unit is in grams, that's great. But if I choose a recipe that is in ounces, then my unit will go into ounces for the duration of that recipe, and then we will go back to grams, okay? And here we have remote access. Turn this on, and that way when you're cooking, your phone will tell you how much more until you're done. It will sound when the recipe is over and you'll be able to turn it off. All right, so there you go. Your Thermomix TM7 is set up and ready. Start tonight with something simple, like a dip or a simple soup, and then try more complex recipes as you go learning. Once you get used to the Thermomix language, you'll see how easy it is to always go to your Thermomix, even if it's not for a whole recipe. Grind that coffee, crush that ice, turn that sugar into confectioner sugar. It's the most powerful tool in your kitchen. Thermomixing is more than just cooking. It's exploring, discovering new flavors, and making things you never thought possible. So please, don't forget to visit other countries, make bread, jam, or anything you don't usually make. I cannot wait to see what you create. I hope this was helpful. If I'm your consultant, I would love to talk to you after you watch this video. Now we can have quality time and you can ask specific questions that will help you. From types of recipes you're looking for, to clarification on things I explained, extra information, or you might just want to cook with me. Whatever it is, I'm here for you. Please email me when you're ready, right here. If your consultant sent you this video, I'm sure that he or she is also ready for your questions and extra help, or to visit you if you live close. Don't forget to invite a few friends. They will love to meet your new sous chef. They might not know about Thermomix yet because it's the best kept secret. So please help us share that secret with everyone. Enjoy your Thermomix and happy cooking. Thank you.